we have some things that in our heads just make sense, and that's why sometimes not only we act in accordance to that, but sometimes we start even feeling in accordance to our expectations. So then our expectation is something that creates our reality. Interesting, right? Welcome everyone to LifewithLiza podcast. Our mission at LifewithLiza is to share people's stories and the challenges that they have overcome so that those who are listening in can get the strength, the courage, and the hope to be their better selves. And as you might have already heard, I just went back home to Ukraine, and it was a very long journey. It took me 25 hours to get from Kiev to Amsterdam. And I had a very interesting thought while I was traveling. And the thought was, I felt very tired towards the middle of my trip, and I thought, oh, of course, it does make sense that I feel so tired because I have such a long journey. And the more I thought in that way, I thought it does make sense for me to feel tired, the more tired I felt. And then I had a thought, could that be that sometimes we feel a certain way because we expect to feel that way? Could it be that it is almost obvious that when you have a long trip and you travel for a long time that you will feel tired? But are you actually tired because you have had that long trip, or is it just because you expect yourself to be tired because you've had that long trip? And I started thinking about that, and then I asked myself, I dug deeper because I have this relationship with myself that I can ask myself questions, and I have developed a level of self-awareness where I know whether the answers are true, and I have tried over a period of many years to build this relationship where I give myself honest answers. So I asked myself, do I really feel tired? And then the answer came, no, not really, I don't really feel tired. And that was fascinating because I have had this expectation that I would feel tired, and that's why I felt tired. But actually when I asked myself, do I? And I realized actually I'm not tired. And then the moment I had that realization, the way I was handling my body changed. I stopped sitting slouched down and feeling so tired with my head leaning against my hand. I became way more energized. Actually, I'm not that tired. Actually, I feel quite fine. I've got lots of sleep on the train, feel energized. And it was such a breakthrough. And then I thought, in how many other areas of our lives, sometimes we just feel a certain way because of some kind of belief that we have that we're supposed to feel that way in that kind of situation. So sometimes I realize that even when I do a tough workout, my expectation of it being tough is something that makes the workout tougher, because I believe that it needs to feel tough, and then it feels tough. And then the moment I just let it go and am immersed in this present moment and ask myself, how do I feel? I don't actually feel that workout is that hard in that very present moment. So sometimes what I started realizing that we can exaggerate our feelings through our own expectations. And I know it's quite hard to believe that, because we have all of these beliefs that we don't even realize that they are our beliefs because we believe them so much. We feel like this is just the truth. And that's the biggest problem with the beliefs or convictions, is just that we see them as just the way the world is and not the way we believe it is. So somehow, and I think it's just to add on that, I think it's very interesting because I remember when I was doing Tony Robbins' events, there he asked you just to stand straight and then to raise your arm and then to turn it as far as you can, if you can turn it 180 degrees or further. And then most people did that movement, and then he said, okay, now close your eyes and imagine doing it in your mind a few times. And then people opened their eyes and they had to do the same movement again. And then most of them could push it way further than they did in the first time. And he said, how crazy is that we have even this subconscious belief on how far we can turn our arm. How crazy is that? You would not, if someone asks you, you would never say, yeah, I do have this subconscious belief that I can turn my arm 185 degrees only. But we have some things that in our heads just make sense, and that's why sometimes not only we act in accordance to that, but sometimes we start even feeling in accordance to our expectations. So then our expectation is something that creates our reality. Interesting, right? Isn't it the most fascinating thought? And then if by expecting something negative, like feeling tired or for something to be tough or difficult, it becomes more so, can it also be that by imagining something be quite relaxing or energizing for it to become more so because of your expectation of it being so? That's something that I started practicing, because then I thought, okay, I still have lots of hours on the train. Can I imagine it being quite a relaxing experience where I'll do a lot of introspection and use this time as meditation? And it also became so. So then my expectation was just shaping how I was experiencing the present moment. And it was fascinating. So sometimes when we start thinking of the present moment or the future in some kind of negative way, we make it so. And if we start thinking about it in a positive way, we make it so. Because our thoughts also determine our experience of the present moment. So be very careful with the way you speak about the present moment, the way you think about it, because it really does determine your experience of it. I hope you did enjoy this episode, and I hope after watching this episode and really thinking about this very interesting idea, you start creating a life which is filled with more of the positive emotions and more of the emotions which are filled with high frequency, like love and gratitude. And then I believe that life, even the tough moments in life, will be easier for you, and you'll be able to handle them better and appreciate them for making you grow or challenging you or just reframing them into something positive, like I did with my train ride. Instead of looking at it as a long tiring experience, I started looking at it as a perfect, peaceful and relaxing opportunity to actually do some introspection. Hope you did enjoy this episode, and if you did, please be sure to like this video, to subscribe to this channel, share it with someone who might find this thought interesting, and I see you in the next episode.